What did your crush do that absolutely killed your interest? This was in college. We were acquaintances and had a few classes together. He was cute, funny, and I totally had a crush on him. He asked me out to dinner and a movie. At the restaurant, he ordered the most expensive thing on the menu: apps, drinks, lobster, and even dessert. When the bill came, he said, "You got this, right?" I was so embarrassed I paid. Then I said I'd skip the movie because I wasn't feeling well, and he asked me to give him $20 for gas and for wasting his time. I didn't and just left. Ugh. After that, he couldn't seem to understand why I didn't want to go out with him again. Holy F! Laugh my butt off. I was giving her a place to sleep when she was feuding with her mother. After weeks of picking up after her, I dared to complain. She had a screaming fit, packed up her crap, and left. I was glad to be rid of her until later it got around to me that she was telling people on Facebook that I kicked her out for refusing to give me a blowjob. There's a lot I can forgive, but that was the first time I had ever had anyone just straight up make stuff up about me. F you. Her. Why are you leaving a tip? Me. Because the service was really good? Her. But she's fat. What a lemony sea. Hey folks, I don't care if the service wasn't good. You tip your dang waitstaff. Bragged about drinking and driving. He told me that he and his friends have a Nothing Under 100 club where they drink and then drive on the interstate going 100 plus miles per hour and have to send a full-length Snapchat video of the speedometer to each other. 2 of my friends had been killed by a drunk driver 3 months prior. Oh God, that's awful. We went to Disneyland, where I had an annual pass, with my friends and family for an event called Dapper Day, where you dress up in dapper clothing so everything looks very old-timey. I'd done it for years with my friends, and he wanted to come, and my mom and siblings were going for the first time, too. I was really excited, as it was the first time he had ever met my family. Well, we went on one ride with my family and my friends, and then he said, "Do you want to go on a ride, just me and you?" I thought we'd come back and spend the rest of the day with them, but as soon as we were out of earshot, he was complaining about my family and how weird it was that they were there and he wanted to do Disney with just me. But he had known they were coming, so I was confused. Then he went on one more ride and started complaining about how hot it was, how tired he was, and before lunch he wanted to go home. I was super upset, but I didn't want him leaving on his own, so I just went with him. But on the way home, I wished I had just let him leave and I could have stayed with all the people I loved. It was the first time in years my sister and my mom had been to Disney, and I didn't know it then, but it was the last time I got to go with my brothers before they grew up, and now they hate me. He was just some dude I dated, not a boyfriend or anything that lasted very long. I'm still so mad at myself for letting him ruin my day, but yeah, it absolutely killed anything I felt for him, and we broke up a few days later. Your brothers hate you? Is it because of this? Well, no, it's a long story. I have 2 narcissistic parents who kicked me out long ago and who have been telling lies about me to my little brothers to make them look amazing and me like a crappy person who doesn't care about family. Neither one talks to me. Revealed his list of conquests. Not even my brother knows how many women I've slept with. Then he offered to take my virginity in the back of his pickup truck. I passed. He couldn't have thought he was special for offering to take your virginity. Did they say, "Thanks for the same offer as every other man since I was 15? A pickup truck at that. Did he entice you with the seductive improvement of a liner for the bed of the truck? Or did he make a stupid joke about it being a bed? I can hear this conversation, and I sympathize with you in solidarity of suffering many on my own. I'm black, she's black, our crush was mutual. Then she found out that I was once in a relationship with a white woman. She then jumped down a rabbit hole of my betrayal of the black family and some other nonsense of my trauma of self-hatred. Never been turned off by anything faster than that. We were in the process of getting together. She had called over and we spent an afternoon watching movies and sitting close together. By about 8 in the evening, she was considering staying late and I was casually encouraging her. She asked if she could take a shower, and I was like, yeah, sure, of course. Glad that the bathroom was clean and tidy, and I had fresh towels. Anyway, after about 4 minutes, she calls me saying she needs help with the shower, and I give her a moment to get a towel around herself and knock on the bathroom door. She opens it completely naked and shows me that she's having trouble with the shower controls. So I'm kinda unsure whether to make the move or start with the controls, so I go with the flow and show her this is hot, this is cold, this is pressure, this is rainforest, and this is power jets. In the 5 seconds it takes me to do this, she has sat on the toilet, which is kind of a weird thing because I need to be able to make the next move. And she's sitting on the toilet, naked, with the lid up, looking all disinterested. I'm thinking, I've screwed it up. When suddenly, kersplosh, and she takes a dump right in front of me. And then another one. I was just, I'll leave you to it. I'm a head out. You know, I'm a pretty understanding guy. I know that some people are more comfortable with that stuff than others, but no. She asked if things didn't work out if I would mind if she went out with my roommate. I said I couldn't possibly do that to him and left. Quick, we're gonna need an ambulance for this burn. She asked me if I was good with kids because she was pregnant with her ex and that she's not good with kids. It was the first date. No way, dude. What was your response? I told her that I'm not comfortable raising a child that isn't mine and that it's not going to work out. After my response, she lost her crap screaming that I was a heartless piece of crap and that all men are the same. So much to wrap my mind around here. She is pregnant and actively seeking another man to fill in for the absentee father-to-be. Throws that info out there immediately and then gets angry at your response. Truly mind-blowing. I wish I could see your facial reaction to all this going down. She looked at me like she wanted to stab me 100 times. Oh, also, I was 16 at the time. 16? Oh my god, that's the cherry on top. Lol, more like the cherry been popped. Yeah, okay, the cherry popping comment is gross. You people are gross. Also, I don't fully buy this story. I don't know. What do you think, commenters? We were teenagers. He lived in a different province, and we used to chat on Skype. He wanted me to think he was a bad A or something and would always talk about his drug use. He ended up faking a heroin overdose when we were on chat together. I was hysterically crying and freaking out thinking I was watching someone dying and was trying to figure out how to call 911 in another province when he snapped out of it and told me he was actually okay. I didn't talk to him much after that. God damn, what a loser. What'll make me look totally cool and bad A to my girlfriend? I know, I'll pretend to inject so much heroin that I'm literally going to die while talking to her. That's like the coolest thing ever, right? Killing yourself in front of your girlfriend? Yeah, I don't think I can top that. I'm going to be drowning in pee after this. You know, sometimes censoring that particular word when it is preceded by drowning in makes it a lot funnier than the actual thing. Stole from a homeless person. We were walking together downtown and she saw a bucket of coins in front of a pharmacy. She just scooped it all up and kept walking. Guy comes out as she's 20 feet away or so and yells at her. She keeps moving. I stood there and just gave him a $20 and didn't hang out with her anymore. We were 14 and 15. It was very nice of you to give him money. I can't imagine why someone would steal from a homeless person. She said I smile too much. F you. I smile when I want to. I try to find joy. Kept arranging times to talk and whatnot, then always forgot or was not available. I've had the same thing happen to me. She would always text me and ask if I could chat at a certain time. Of course, I would agree. Then when I called, she would have her phone off or only answer 5% of the time. I really liked her too, so I was just like, what the F? If you say you want to talk at so-and-so time, answering the phone might help. I had this girl text me, not me text her, 5 days in a row asking to hang out and stuff. I would say yes, then ask what she wanted to do. I would never get a response. I don't understand how you can ask somebody to hang out and then just ghost them. And I only kept getting my hopes up because she had some B's excuse to go with it. Some people just want to feel validated by knowing people want to spend time with them. I had some friends like that. We don't talk much anymore. I have a bunch. They set up meeting times with many people and then go to the ones on top of their list while they flake on everyone else. I feel like that's facts and, in my opinion, the worst time of people. So selfish. Bullied the quiet kid in our class. What a jerk. And it's such shame that she stooped to these levels because she seemed like a sweet girl. The moment I saw her do that, I lost it with her because the quiet is genuinely a nice guy, still friends to this day due to our mutual love of anime and gaming. As a quiet guy who tries to be genuinely nice, thank you. Turned out to be the person eating everyone else's food from the break room fridge. My sandwich? You ate my sandwich? Bet it even had the piece of bread in the middle soaked with gravy, the moist maker. Her sister actually approached me and let me know that he was once arrested for locking their other pregnant sister in their basement, went on a coke binge while she desperately tried to get out, and went outside to beat their unsuspecting neighbor's van with a golf club. That was a big old nope. Sister's a legend, by the way. It was really cool of her to tell me about all that, and she actually continued to warn women about him even if some of the girls wouldn't listen and had to experience firsthand. She's really out here for her fellow females. Who wouldn't listen? Like, what? Was he really good looking or something? He was funny. Personality alone can make a big difference, but I didn't find him funny enough to put my own safety and reputation at risk. One of the girls called his sister nosy and bossy. She's looking out for you, girl. Strong personalities don't always mean bossy. Kissed me and then, after he pulled away, told me he has a girlfriend. The old razzle-dazzle. Yeah, I don't get washing. I just don't really like taking a shower or a bath or anything. I can smell this quote. Placed the tip on the table before we received service, before using it as a threat. Real ugly. Like, this $20 tip stays here if you keep my water refilled? There are humans who will put out multiple bills and remove one every time they are displeased. Real charmers. At that point, you should just say F the tip and give them the worst service you possibly can without being fired. Just tell them straight up, I know what you're doing and you can keep the tip. I don't care. Had a crush on this girl back in high school. She seemed like a sweet girl. After she rejected me, I let it go, but still was interested in maintaining some sort of friendship. Found out she was actually pretty toxic behind my back. She made fun of me for a lot of things that really didn't matter, like hand motions while talking, and I just lost interest in her entirely, even in a friendship. This guy's pee is way too big, like disgustingly big. Lol. He probably can't even find a pair of shorts long enough to conceal it. What a loser. Oh, and he moves his hands around a lot when talking. This was years ago on a first date. Tried to convince me to quit my job and put all my savings into gold bars. Then demanded I let him read my tarot cards to see if we'd be a good fit. Nope. Another controlling type. Aye. Let me read your tarot cards to see if we'll be a good fit. No need. I already figured it out. Huge crush on a fellow uni student. I was invited over for what I expected to be a platonic study date, but hey, any time spent is better than just being alone, or so I thought. Got there and found another student from class also. Okay, study group. Turns out her mom and her set us up for a full-press MLM pitch. Videos, literature, the works. I stayed a bit, not to be rude, excused myself shortly, and only talked to her in class just in passing from then on. Huge letdown. Edit. MLM means multi-level marketing, aka a pyramid scheme. Signing up to both buy and sell something while recruiting others to sell also. You get a % of all of your recruits' sales also. All the percentages basically flow upward, so the only way to make any significant money is to be high in the tree, towards the top of the pyramid. It's all BS, basically. That is probably the most insane thing I can imagine. You know damn well she's not keeping friends after that. Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day. Told me he was only being nice to me because he was interested in a friend of mine. I see his Facebook posts now. He is dumber than a box of rocks on a treadmill. I'm not sure why the box of rocks on the treadmill is dumber than the box of rocks not on a treadmill, but I accept the metaphor. I was just thinking to myself, crap, I'm not dumb for not understanding this metaphor, am I? Talked nonstop about himself and his accomplishments and never asked me one question about myself. Experienced this, but he would ask me questions about myself and after one line from me would take over the conversation and somehow direct the spotlight from my answer back onto himself almost competitively. Went on a date with a guy similar to this, lol. He loved himself, and whenever he asked me a question, he would take my reply and tell me why I was wrong for thinking it, and then tell me his right version. I dated a guy in band, and he constantly went on about why his music taste was correct and mine was wrong. He once asked for a song recommendation, and hey, I love my classic rock and jazz, but I also like the odd cheesy bop, so I sent him some newish song, and he replied, I'm so disappointed in you. This right here is the difference between confidence in yourself and pride. Guys, tone it down. She slept with my dad. That has to be the shortest answer and somehow still the biggest red flag. It's more like a whole banner, not a flag anymore. She got blackout drunk at a party and violently crapped her pants. The smell alone completely turned me off of any interest I had. Violently, LMAO. Tore a damn hole clean through the denim, cut 2 inches deep into the pavement like some horrific power washer. She briefly became airborne at some points. Username checks out. I knew that day I'd met my future wife. And that, kids, is how I met your mother. When I was a teenager, we worked together as lifeguards. I adored him so much until one day he just starts talking about this random woman that he didn't know and wasn't even there that was wearing shorts. He said he was fine until she sat down and had some cellulite on her thighs. And he kept being angry and talking about how she should be doing squats to be more appealing. Like his rant was angry and long, and no one was adding to his conversation, just silence. After that, I took off my rose-colored glasses and saw that he was, in fact, a huge douchebag. I'm kinda grateful he showed himself that way, because I was really into him until then. Could have been a bad time for my teenage brain. How dare women not be attractive in front of him? Ugh, what a douchebag. I'm glad you were able to see through to him. He picked me up for our first date, and his car was disgusting. Not talking a few trash items, the entire backseat and floorboard was completely covered in piled up trash, even up front. I had to step on old empty McDonald's bags, old soda bottles, wrappers, etc. to even get in. And all he said was, just move it around with your feet. No sorry or anything. Made me feel like trash too. Like, dang, couldn't even clean up a little? But you're the Goblin Queen. Hey man, even goblins have standards. I can confirm, us goblins are way more cleaner than that. That man is simply not fit for the Goblin Queen, or any other goblin for that matter. Dumped me after 9 months because she wasn't ready for a serious relationship. Got into a relationship the next day and was married within 5 months. Not ready for a serious relationship is just the roundabout way of saying, sorry, I'm not interested in you anymore. You're too good for me is another one. It's not you, it's me. I no longer find you attractive, and it's probably because either something changed or alternatively something hasn't. Hey folks, want a tip for getting out of a relationship? Just be honest and open in communication. Might help you with the next relationship too. Told me that she didn't like me back anymore, but maybe if I waited long enough, she would like me like that again. Edit. She told me that I'd gotten more critical lately and I changed. So she wanted me to change back before she would be with me. I hate this. You're not an airport. You don't get to put people in holding patterns. Very well said. Too critical about every word I uttered under the name of sarcasm. Oh yeah, the classic, it's a joke so you can't get mad type or line. I went out with a woman who would say really mean crap and then say guys can't take her humor, her sarcasm, how real she was. Example, I caught my finger in a pair of vice grips and got a nasty blood blister. Her reply, wow, you're really handy. Not. People like that are the most sensitive of all. My grandmother is like this. Makes her comments about everyone, and then when one gets sent her way, she gets all droopy-eyed and goes, thanks, like she is so deeply hurt. Then when you confront them about it, they swear if the same crappy comments are said to them, they would not be offended. It's a very narcissistic way of not having to work on your crappy personality. Basically shut me down and made it clear to me that I was being the typical nice guy cliche. This is back when I was about 20. After a couple of days of sulking, I started examining my behavior and realized she was absolutely right. Glad it happened. My ideas of how a relationship should work were entirely twisted at the time. I got my crap together shortly after, addressed my stupid and entitled behavior, worked on myself mentally and physically, and eventually met an amazing woman who is now my wife. Scary to look back and think how close I got to becoming one of those incel neckbeard types. You should thank that lady as well, while tipping a hat that I'm sure he still owns. Every once in a while on this site, I get to see someone who actually is capable of emotional and mental growth, and it gives me hope. I'll kiss you, but I'd never date you. F you. I had a girl who wanted to move in with me and start a physical relationship. I might have been interested if she weren't moving so fast and if she hadn't already had a boyfriend at the time. The final nail in that already well-fastened coffin was when she said the doing it would only be physical and that she wasn't looking for an emotional connection at all. I had been secretly in love with her for 5 years and that completely destroyed me. I'd say you dodged a bullet or effing cannonball. Told me he liked dating broken girls so he could fix them. See you later, boner. Talked crap about every woman in his life. Should have seen the red flags earlier. Didn't realize until later that he probably did the same to me. Apparently, having an opinion about anything and speaking for yourself isn't a very ladylike thing to do. He sounds totally not insecure. His masculinity is so strong, totally not weak. I was a midnight clerk at a truck stop, and very, very good-looking man came in every night on his run to visit with me. He wore an ankle monitor for probation/parole. I asked about it, and he told me he was falsely accused of kissing his ex-wife's daughter. She was 13. I took his word. He seemed to be a real good guy. About 2 weeks later, we were BSing and flirting, and a little girl about 12 years old came in with her dad. He looked that little girl up and down like a pervert. I was instantly sick to my stomach. Yikes. She invited me over to her place, not as a date thing, but just to hang out as friends. Her house was absolutely filthy, and the glass of Coke she gave me had a hair in it. She was really cute, had a great personality, and was a genuinely nice person, but as soon as I saw cat crap on the floor near the front door and just dirty everything, my crush disappeared and I left in a hurry. Yeah, there's messy, and then there's this. I am fine with mess and clutter. That stuff just needs tidying up. I cannot handle filth. This is absolutely filthy. Well, it turns out he wasn't interested in girls, so I knew I had to kill my feelings or feel stupid for keeping them. At least you got to know about it. It's way better than being in the dark. Like in the closet. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.